running. That's all.
You be working out?
Hell yeah, you got to nowadays. I better.
Hey, my co-host, I got Rob in the room, and I got my co-host Q, man. So say what's up to Biz.
How you doing, buddy?
Hey, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, Biz.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. Thank you for waiting, and the few minutes don't mean to be late. I'm not normally and usually late like this, but thank you guys.
No, you fine, man. Listen, man, this is Ohio love, man. You know, first of all, we appreciate this time because we all from Ohio, man. And when you doing this podcast game, that's how I reach out. I actually didn't say that when I reached out to your people. I could have came like, hey man, show some Ohio love, you know, and come through and do the interview. But you done it without me doing that extra, man. So I really appreciate that, Biz, man.
Back and forth.
For sure. Now, you know what I wanted to get into right away, man. I seen the situation with the Migos, man, with them claiming that they were the best group of all. Everybody listen. Only thing you got to do is go to their certifications, and you will see East 1999 Eternal 6 times platinum, and it's over. It's over. Right. It's over, man. You see that, man. Talk about the success of that album, man.
The success of the Eternal album?
Yes.
Well, I mean, it took us all by surprise. It was in transition of Eazy-E dying. So when he had passed away, it was so much turmoil, they wound up sending all of us back home with penniless. Wow. Like rent was owed because we were staying at a mansion in Los Angeles in Chatsworth. And rent was due for like 6 months, and it was like an ongoing thing. We thought that Eazy was playing us like Cube and Dre and the rest of them had warned everybody. Come to find out he was real sick. So when it came out, we were all back in Cleveland, either hustling, taking care of our children. Well, I know I was taking care of my children and hustling. And it came out and it blew up. And once all the paperwork and all of that stuff started getting in order, as you know, Jerry Heller and Eazy's wife were fighting over the estate, we managed to keep business up and running. So we were able to put out another Crossroads, the remix to Crossroads, and that's what took the record from 2 million to 6. And of course, there's bootlegs and stuff that was happening back then. So I would imagine it's at about 10 million. Because I was at a seminar and a guy from, I believe he was from Hawaii, he said, we have a printing company and I can give you the information where 500,000 copies of East 1999 Eternal were printed in my facility from Ruthless Records on the low.
So that's diamond. That's diamond status. So y'all should see the diamond trophies coming, or the plaques coming pretty soon, huh?
Some people would have to go to jail in order to prove the rest of that. You know, I'm good with 7. We good with 6, 7, 5, 6, 7. I'm just happy that, you know, me and my guys were able to crawl up out of the gutter and make something of ourselves and, you know, lead respectable lives in society, because we were among the disenfranchised. We weren't given businesses. We weren't given generational wealth. We was given crack, we was given drugs, and we was given, you know, our communities torn into pieces, and we had to crawl up out of that. So I'm happy and I'm grateful, but it was a meteoric rise, but it definitely wasn't without struggle. Speaking of the record.
You know what? We from Toledo. We like an hour and a half away. We was going through it with y'all, man. When y'all was coming up, we was rooting for y'all, man. We was like, listen, we was running into parties like, cause before you guys came through, we had to claim MC Bree. You remember Bree from Flint?
Of course, Flint, Michigan.
To claim Bree from Michigan.
Yeah. So he was one of the first people that put Tupac on, and then it was 3-2, and it was 3-2, and it was another brother that was out there too. I forgot, but them was the homies too from that area.
Yeah, that was dope. Man. we was like, thank you, Jesus, man. We was going around with poking our chest out like we got somebody on the map.
And for what it's worth, it was nothing mediocre about y'all come up.
No,
it's good to be humble, but yeah, y'all did your damn thing, man.
Yeah, that was a blessing.
No.
You know what?
I said meteoric. Like
okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Yes. And you know what? You know what's surprising about Bone? Nobody that style y'all done. Nobody came after that. I thought people was gonna emulate that right for y'all done it, but they couldn't do it.
I don't think nobody could do it.
They couldn't do that flip of the script, harmony style, man.
I think that we were able to bring something.
Why do you think they couldn't mimic it?
I mean, I think that everyone tried to put their twist on it so they didn't sound exactly like it. And the way I rationalized it in my younger mind was, hey, hip hop gave you something you need to give back to hip hop. So I think that they tried to duplicate it a lot. And I think that they tried to act like we didn't exist, like down south. Like they tried to act like T.I. wasn't rapping fast, or they tried to act like the rest of these rappers wasn't doing those same cadences and just block us out of their mind. And I think that happened a lot too. But look at us now. Look at what's going on in Atlanta. Look at this trap music. Look at these brothers eating. I mean, it's turned into a $1 billion industry, just our style alone. So I'm ecstatic about it. Like I'm so happy about it. So yeah, I think they tried to answer your question, but I you can't. Gotta have your own twist. Right.
and you know what, man, Crossroads, man. Let's talk about that video, because that video made me I was emotional, man. You know what the part in the video that got to me, when Uncle Charles, Wishbone's part, when that tough looking bald head dude just come on the porch and just take him. Man, that is so powerful, man. That was such a powerful moment. I got scared. Hey man, did y'all get scared when that dude came on the porch?
You made me think about some things. Believe that.
Let me tell you, it's the first time. One thing we wanted to do was we wanted to change the perception of what angels look like. Like everybody was thinking that our whole thing behind that was, since he was a brother, that he was somehow bad, but he wasn't. He was carrying the souls to heaven. Right. There are black angels was our point in that video, to scare them, but let them know that just because it's black, it ain't bad. So we were really, really on the front line of that train of thought and that thought process, just because we come from the inner city. So it was a groundbreaking video, and we were able to sneak the message in. Sort of like how the Wayans brothers snuck the message in and don't drink your juice in the hood, and they got all them signs in the background about how all these malt liquors can kill you. That's the same way we snuck that message in. But yeah, it was intense, because I think it was the first time we were able to use CGI and effects on a video. So we were in the front of that. And I can't take anything away from Ruthless Records, because they were on the front lines of that. And despite my many of problems with the record labels that I would have, they did a terrific job. Can't front.
The BET Best Video of the Year award for Crossroads, man.
Yes, sir. We
now,
want a countless.
Yeah, listen, that was the year for y'all, man. 1997, that was y'all year, man. Y'all
Biggie, the Biggie record came out. It was big. We had the East Coast on fire finally, because the East Coast, they was always holding on to hip hop like, it's mine. And when that Biggie thing came out, it opened it. You right, 1997 was that year.
I got a good question for my co-host. Now, was Bone considered West Coast or East Coast?
Excuse me.
What you think, Rob?
They had their own style. They was West Coast because they dealt with West Coast.
Right.
Records and groups. But they had their own thing,
right,
with their harmony and how they fast rap and flipped it back and forth with each other. I think they had
Q, what was Bone to you? Was it East Coast, West Coast, Midwest? What you think?
Man, it's no doubt about it. It was always Midwest. When you talk about Bone, you're always going to talk about, Tongue Twister before he was Tongue Twister before it was Twister. Then you got to talk about, all those that time period. But Bone and them always stood up. We've never, and at least in Detroit, we never considered them East Coast or West Coast. We've always repped for them for the Midwest.
Goddamn right.
That's right. Yeah.
Hey, I got food coming in, so when they knock on the door, handle that I'm doing an interview. I love you.
Oh, that's what's up, man.
You ready?
No, you right. I just think that the most of the people, because we came up under Eazy-E's fold, they just considered us West Coast. But he right though. Midwest love, always love, and respected Bone Thugs for putting basically the whole Midwest on the map in our way of rapping. Then here comes Crucial Conflict.
Right.
Here comes Eminem.
Right.
Here comes Twister, like you said.
Right.
And then the stuff from down south in Memphis started coming up with it, and it just started taking off. And it, it's just a blessing to be a part of hip hop history. And if you can throw away some of that battle rap stuff, you can really enjoy your mark that you made in history, is what I've learned over the years. Because, in hip hop is battle rap, that one rapper against another rapper in school. It's kind of like how it started. You know what I mean? Beatboxing, et cetera, et cetera. So, or, from breakdancing. I used to break dance. One break dancer go against another break dancer, then they turn into rapper. But that's good to hear about the Midwest. It's always good to reinforce that love, for real. Detroit in the motherfucking house.
Let me ask you this, Biz, man. Now, with all these Instagram battles going on, have you given any thought to who you would want to battle in an Instagram battle? Have you even thought about it?
I kind of think that, this is my personal opinion. No shout, no hurting to nobody, but I think it's cheesy up until the point that we have no choice. I think that it took off behind the coronavirus, behind not being able to do shows, and it didn't blossom organically. I think that people got in front of it so fast that it seems saturated. It doesn't seem like an authentic battle, to me. But because I'm used to battling in the street and stuff like that. Hell, I battled Jay-Z for $30 in Atlantic City. You know what I mean? So I think after a while it might catch on, but right now it just doesn't seem like authentic battle to me. But
so you wouldn't want to participate? You wouldn't want to do it?
I wouldn't mind. Like if something came across the table, I'd do it for the culture, because I realize that everything that I think ain't always what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I'm totally willing to open up culture.
I don't see nobody that could go with y'all. Maybe Goody Mob. Maybe.
I think, let me see. Group. If we're talking group wise,
if we do groups, maybe Goody Mob.
I think the G Unit would be dope.
Yep, G Unit would be dope. EPMD
that'd be dope. Nah.
They too old. They too old.
No. Because I think it's more of a duo.
Okay.
Than anything else.
Okay.
I think like a group with about 4 or 5 people would be even. It would make sense. I ain't mad at the 666 Mafia thing either. I'm just not mad at it. I think that when you're in a group, you need another group in order for it to kind of make sense. You know what I mean? So,
right.
Yeah, I'm open and ready, and I'm all about making sure that the people that want to see it have the opportunity to see it. I ain't holding nothing back.
You know what? This is what I want to say about you, man. Listen. This is the guy that actually sung the part. I'm gonna miss everybody. This is the dude that actually sung that. Do you know, man? That's a line that ain't nobody ever gonna forget. You actually sung that shit so hard, man. Everybody, that's the most memorable chorus concerning Bone, man.
Well, you know what?
I'm gonna miss everybody.
The thing about them
and I miss my
they
Uncle
true to
Charles.
themselves.
Yeah.
You know, they stayed true to themselves.
Yeah, they did, man.
You know what I mean? They didn't flip the script. They didn't go to the jury. They didn't go to fancy car.
Nah.
They kept it on the block, in the hood.
Y'all kept it real,
kept
man.
it trapped.
Y'all didn't care what nobody else was doing.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't care what nobody else was doing. Bone had their own style. And listen, we had our chests out. Y'all was from the Midwest. Y'all was from Ohio. So we had our chests out the whole time, man. And
exactly.
And you know what? People, listen, you guys got a Grammy. That never comes up. When I was prepping for your interview, nobody ever mentioned the Grammy. I'm like, these guys, 1997, the Crossroads, best rap performance duo or group. Them boys got a Grammy, man. That's what's up, man.
Kudos, bro.
We got two Grammys. One for Crazy Bone has one that he shares with the rest of the group for Riding Dirty. And we got one for Crossroads. We got 2 American Music Awards and a few different other ones. But yeah, hardly ever comes up. But it's a great accomplishments, and we're very, very humbled and grateful to still be alive to receive our roses. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people have lost their lives around us. It's very young. Pac was 25. Biggie was 24. Big L was like 21, 22. So it was Big Pun was in his 20s. It was just Aaliyah and Left Eye, and just so many people have lost their lives in this game that were
Easy too. Easy.
Oh yeah, the Godfather. So it's just, we just humbled by it. So if they don't mention it or nothing like that, it's quite all right with us. We're still grateful, we're still thankful and humble.
Now, Bizzy, you individually, you in my top 10 MCs of all time. You know that, right?
I'm still working on it too. So
you in my top 10. Listen, you in my top 10, man. You in my top 10, man.
I've got more. This next record, Carbon Monoxide, was definitely a masterpiece. But this next record, I was listening to it last night. We're getting it mixed and getting it mastered. It's more than I could.
Tell us about it.
It's today. It's definitely 2020, 2021. Because we make music to last through the ages. It's everything that people expect to hear, that people want to hear, and a lot more. It's just amazing when I sit back and I listen to it, because I'm so up on what's going on now, and I'm so in the mix of the protests and everything that's happening, and just everything that's been going on just in the world in general, and just all of the issues that it's just touching on everything today, but it's a eternal vibe on it, to where it can be pertained to a lot of stuff. It's not like personal stuff, but as far as towards other people or other MCs, but it's just really in depth. Just the subject matter, the things that I'm talking about is just crazy. Like, we're getting into the visual stage now, and Carbon Monoxide is doing so good, and I'm independent. So I know how to market, I know how to promote, I know how to run ad campaigns, I know how to put $5 here, let that run for 5 hours, put another campaign, do the demographic of 12 to 35, white, black, Hispanic, male, female, world demographic. I know how to do so many new things that I'm able to reach so many people just by myself. And it's just putting in the work. So I'm just really, really excited about it. But yeah, man, I'm working on being top 5. I'm working on being top 5.
Man, you are, man. You dope. Can't nobody do what you do, man. Can't nobody do what you do. I love the way you speed it up, you slow it down, you harmonize, and then you flip it on the ass.
That's what I've gotten a lot of flack within the label, and my guys every now and again, like, come on, just give us that stuff that you do. And I always thought in the back of my mind, if I keep doing the same exact thing, then I'm not going to grow, and I'm not opening people up to the different things that I want to bring forth. This record is so stylistic. It's not the same cadences. It's not the same flow. The rapid speed is there. The tenor is there, but it's just so different. Like, And that's what I've always worked on for my, I've been in the game for about 25, 26 years now professionally, but I've been doing music all my life. And, you know, I got a little flack about it, you know, the different flows and the different, you know, the way that I can fast and slow, but ultimately it's worked out for me in the long run because now I can stand on my own and, you know, do things in 2020 and beyond. And people are accepting of it because they're like, well, that's just who he is. You know, that's the brand that he's built. And we've heard these kind of cadences before. So I appreciate that. Really appreciate that.
Well, Bizzy, this is Q from the Big Trav And Q Show. I've heard two sides. I've heard two sides of the story where I've heard where a lot of MCs who've come from your era that have transitioned on, that have said that a lot of the artists that came from, I would say from 87 to 95, the reason why a lot of those artists are not able to basically reap the rewards of what's going on today is because they don't want to reinvent themselves. Then I've heard artists that would say they don't want to compromise who they are, and if people are going to love them, they want to stick corely to their fans. Where do you land on that subject matter?
I think once you get a signature voice, then you're good to go. Once you have a signature voice that people can recognize, I think that from there, it's just keeping up with what's going on, long as you're staying relevant and practicing and growing your own skills and your own craft. It's if you stay in 1997 with your flows, then your signature voice doesn't matter. But if you've got your signature voice and you're able to grow, and the best way to me to reinvent is constant practice, constantly being at work, constantly going to the studio, constantly writing, constantly, you know, hey, I just wrote this, fellas, what you think? Hey, I just wrote this, what you think? And getting other people's opinions. So I think that in order to reinvent yourself is very difficult, but if you're able to do it, then you're among the greats musically. And I don't think you have to compromise who you are. You'll always have your Fresh Princes and you'll always have your Scarfaces in hip hop. You'll always have party music.
Scarface.
There goes Scar.
You'll always have party music and you'll always have a hardcore edge. So you're always able to be yourself. It's never just, I gotta do mumble rap because that's what's in, or I gotta do conscious rap because that's what's in. You got Kendrick Lamar, you got J. Cole, you got these guys that are doing that conscious, that MC rapidy rap, and then you got the mumble stuff that's going on with the younger guys that are partying, doing pills, and just want to have fun. So I don't think it's difficult at all. That's just my opinion.
You brought up Scarface, and we got this debate on Scarface, man. What do you think about Scarface? Is he one of the best ever to you?
Yeah, that signature voice.
Okay.
He got that signature voice. That's it. Like his voice, he's never had to change his flow. And he's one of the guys that people can look towards and say longevity. He's been doing it for a very long time.
Yeah.
And he kept it going and kept it going and kept it going. I was very good friends with Bushwick Bill.
I just found that out, man, because let me tell you, 2 weeks ago, my co-host Q loves Scarface.
Oh yeah, he does.
I didn't think Scarface was one of the best ever. I thought he was cool, but I didn't think he was one of the best ever. And when you say best ever, I mean, we talking like, to me, Pac, Notorious Big, Eminem. I didn't think he belonged in there, but we posted it on Facebook and everybody checked me like, "Oh, dog, you wrong." They was like, "You wrong. He one of the best ever." And then I looked up all his albums, and he got 3 platinum albums and 4. Damn, I didn't know he was doing all that.
And the Ghetto Boys wouldn't have been the Ghetto Boys without it.
Wow, bless him, man. Hey, check this out. What about acting, man? Have you thought about acting? Look at you, man. You what, 40, 46? What are you, 43?
Yes,
you don't
sir,
look
43.
You don't look it. You don't look it, man. Any acting in your future?
Oh yeah, I got about 5. I did about 5, 6 movies already.
Okay.
I did a movie called Jacked Up. That was a BET classic.
I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah, I did What Now. That movie came out in 2015, and then Kevin Hart came out with the What Now, and that kind of messed it up. But it's a movie about social media, Bone Thugs and Harmonies in it. So I got a few movies up under my belt. I know what it is to memorize the script, be on set, lights, camera, action. So I've done a couple of things. And I'm always open. I'm always open
type
to
stuff,
something.
man. You got that Ice-T, Al B. Sure look to you, man. It looked like
always,
you could...
I'm always open. I'm always open to new opportunities as long as it expands my brand and it helps Bone Thugs and Harmony out as a whole, because ultimately that's what we're doing. We're building that. It's like Coca-Cola. You know what I mean? We're building that brand and keeping that brand strong. So yeah, if it helps build the brand, I'm in. And I've done a couple. You might not have seen them, but I've done a couple.
Well, Bizzy, real quickly, can you tell us real quickly about what it was like working with Tupac and Bizzy, and Biggie, and Biggie, you were able to do. You guys were historically the only group that ever done a song with Tupac and Biggie. What was that experience like?
As you can see, it just puts a smile on my face when you say it, because those are memories I'll never forget. Any wise person knew these men were going to die early. If you were there during that climate, it was so much negative and snakes around them. It was so bad that I knew it was a monumental moment. And each moment that I spent with them guys, I made it last. I made sure it was a long lasting memory that I just locked up in because they were older than me at that time. They were my elders at the time.
Right.
And I just locked it in my mind like, this is a once in a lifetime experience. It's never going to happen again. I know something's going to happen to these guys. You could just tell. Right. Like you could just see it. Like you could just see it coming, because the gang members in LA was crazy. New York, they was crazy. It was New York versus LA. It was a crazy, crazy, crazy time. And towards the end of it, Tupac tried to be like, this ain't about New York and LA, but it had already gone too far. And people had that taste for blood. They wanted to taste that blood. It's mankind is no joke. You got to know when your number is being called by mankind. Mankind is an entity within itself. You got a pyramid in Egypt. You got a pyramid in Mexico. You got a pyramid in Antarctica. Ain't nobody got no cell phones. That is the brain power of mankind. So when you send that energy out, somebody's going to answer that call. And it'll be a man. Won't be an angel. Won't be a God. It'll be a man.
Not to cut you up. When you talk about Damon Dash, and you talking about Suge Knight, and when you talk about Puffy, Jermaine Dupri, all of those people, even Irv Gotti, you talk about all of them. But Eazy-E, when it comes down to what his contributions and what he's done as a music game, not to say people don't gravitate towards it, but his name is not really spoken in the elevations of those people. And what are your thoughts on that, and why you think that is?
Well, I think that when Q built his brand, it wasn't as if 50 Cent, Eminem, Death Row, Snoop Dogg, and all of those guys came from Eazy-E, but they did because Dre came from Eazy-E. So as his brand expanded, it just didn't seem like Eazy had anything to do with it. As Q did Friday and Chris Tucker and endless comedians, it didn't seem like that was Eazy-E, but Ice Cube came from Eazy-E. And it manifested. Boys in the Hood was a song that Eazy-E recorded, that Ice Cube wrote for Eazy-E about Eazy-E's lifestyle. So then it becomes a John Singleton hit movie. So that's John Singleton now. Now we got John Singleton. Now we got Cuba Gooding Jr. Now we got Lawrence Fishburne. Then you got Deep Cover with Lawrence Fishburne. Now you got Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre. So it's because people aren't putting the pieces of the puzzle together because we're in a fast society. It's fast paced. Nobody gets their flowers. As long as you got money and you don't fall off and you don't die or any of that, they have to respect you. But when you die or your money not good, you disappear in the background like you've never done nothing at all. So accomplishments and accolades, unfortunately, in America per se, or just on the planet, have a lot to do with your financial status and if you're alive or not to continue. So that's why I think that he doesn't get that recognition because, you know, he died of AIDS. And that's just a fact. And nobody wants to be affiliated.
How everything manifested from his music, from the Boys in the Hood to the Cube. That is Eazy's brand.
Yeah, I know, man.
Apples don't fall far from the tree. You know,
Eazy a legend, man. He a legend, man.
Say that.
You know what? And he the money to start gangster rap.
So that was enough money.
Yeah, right.
And they changed the game, man.
Right. He put the money up to start gangster rap.
Yeah, you got that right.
So he's a pioneer of everything that we listen to.
Yeah, he's the blueprint.
Well,
he's the blueprint. He's the blueprint for the Master P.
Right, he's the blueprint.
He's the blueprint for the Jay-Z and the Dame Dash. Everybody took street money and turned it into something else. And he was the blueprint. And Jerry Heller was the go-to guy. The guy that helped him clean it up. The white dude that made sure all the rest of the white dudes didn't say shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely.
So we got a question in the chat from a fan, and they have a two-part question for you. A, they want to know, is there anything in the future for a Bone Thugs and Harmony docu-series, movie?
Yes.
Or is there a Ruthless record movie? Your thoughts?
Well, I think that each one of the Bone members have their own version of a Bone movie. From what I talked to my fellas the last time I talked to them, they just basically was like, "B, we still making it. And the movie is still being made," which means they got a lot of gas in their tank. And I think that was pushed kind of to the side as far as that. Me, I'm like, let's do it now, because eventually everything is going to change. Like everything is going to change in this world, like everything. And you know, that's just, you know, when you have business partners, everybody's got to agree, majority rules, As far as the Ruthless thing, I'm sure that Tamika, matter of fact, I know for a fact that Tamika has a something that she wrote about Eazy and his time with Ruthless and different things of that nature too. So I think that the coronavirus thing slowed everyone's production down. Like it slowed down the movies, it slowed down the music and everything else. So.
Now, one thing that Puffy has revolutionized and Jermaine Dupri is these reunion tours where everybody's been getting together. And I think a lot of people would love to see somewhat of a reunion of Ruthless, you know, in some capacity, because a lot of people said that the Straight Outta Compton movie was so successful, but the down part of the con, if you want to say,